All right, everyone. Welcome to the Retrospective Paths Podcast. Today, I have Diana Steele, also known as the Waning Moon Witch.
Hello.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
Yeah. Diana is a medium. You are a death doula, a creator. You have all these. I mean, I did some research on you.
You
but
did?
I would love. I did. I'm a little
What
stalker.
did you find? Please tell me you didn't find my old. I have an old Twitter account where I used to write things somewhere. I don't have access to it anymore, I don't think, but I used to write like. Do you remember that there was a book called Shit My Dad Says?
No.
Okay, it was this guy that basically wrote a book about stupid things that his dad would say. And so I used to write stuff my dad would say. Yeah, it didn't get very far with it, but anyways.
I love that though. That's great. No, I did not find that. I really don't. I never got into Twitter. I never really knew how to tweet and twit and do all that.
It was like 2000, I think 10,
Oh,
9,
boy.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's great.
That's very funny.
So Diana, I found her on the interwebs and on social media, on Instagram, and I came across. And doing what I do is I like to reach out, cold call, as they used to call it. And I just messaged Diana randomly, and I was like, "Hey, your content totally resonated with me. I'm obsessed. All the content you put out." But yeah, so Diana is here with me. And where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I knew that. Why did I think you were in New York or somewhere?
Okay.
I don't know why I thought that.
It's probably because a lot of people think so I have an accent apparently when I talk. I can't hear it. But a lot of people think I'm either from the Midwest or from like Jersey.
Yes. The Jersey is the vibe I'm getting, which I love. I love it.
It's because I'm half Italian.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's so funny.
So Diana, let's jump in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to this point in your life?
Whoa.
And how we could give
No. This is
the liner notes.
The origin story.
The origin, yeah.
So my
villain story.
My lore.
Yeah, your lore, exactly.
Where my lore started.
I love it.
I grew up in the suburbs. That's where my lore started. I have
that
in a predominantly Italian area. So like, yeah, very big Italian area, small little like town. And yeah, basically I had always had like experiences with spirit. A lot of the times it was through dreams. I still have like, that's a big, huge time for me. The last 2 weeks have been a little bit wild. It was crazy. It was just like my dreams have always been like that. Yeah. And I remember seeing my grandfather's spirit when I was like 4. I never met him because he died 10 years before me. And then kind of like, obviously, I think there's times there I don't remember everything, but I remember a lot. And, I was a super sensitive kid. I realize now that I was like just feeling so many things from so many people all the time. I was really good at like, I don't like this person and I don't know why I don't like them. They just give me this really weird feeling. And yeah. And so it was always like, it was just always there. If you ask anybody who knows me from that time that I'm still friends with, they'll just say it's just who you are.
Wow.
I didn't really name it or call it anything. It's like, oh, that's just Diana. She's just having I don't know, just having one of her things. But
wow.
Yeah. And so, I think when you're young and you don't really know what to call it or what it is, there's times where it was like really like things would ramp up and then things would get really, really quiet. And then random things would happen and then it'd get really, really quiet. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s where I started to like actively like tap in. I'm like, I'm just going to like embrace this.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's,
was there like some sort of like not incident, but like some sort of moment where you in your 30s, was it just that you were mature enough to kind of handle what was going on? And
I think it was, I had a tarot reading done by another reader. She goes by the name Spiral C Tarot. And I remember it was an email reading and I was like, like, do I have any psychic abilities or what? Like, I was like, can you tell me anything about my, abilities? And she said it in her email, which I still have, and it still blows my mind, where she was just like, she's like, "I don't know how to explain this. This is just you." Like, it's just who kind of like how I
Hmm.
said about what my friends, would say about
Yeah.
me. She goes, "It's just part of you. This is just, like, part of you." So I didn't, because I know a lot of people do have, like, a near death experience or something at childbirth when they're coming into the
Oof.
world that kind of happens where opens stuff up. I did not have anything like that, but I was told by someone that, because my great grandmother died a couple days before I was born and then named after her. And
Wow.
I was told that like a part of her came back with me, which is really interesting because I have like asked
Oh.
around and stuff, and on both sides of the family, there's like mediums. They wouldn't say that, but there are, and there's like psychics. And she used
Oh,
to read,
wow.
yeah, she used to read,
I was actually going to ask you that. That was one of my questions for you. You're
she
like,
used to
does
read,
it run in the family?
used to read coffee, coffee grinds. She was,
Oh, yes.
yeah, she was
I've heard of that.
Greek, and I believe, and I found out more that I think she was like also, she had like Slavic in her as well. I don't know a lot about that
Okay.
side of the family, so it's a long story for another time. But
Oh, we can
yeah,
get into that another
oh my,
time. I have similar stories. Wow. Okay. So
yeah. So
it's in
it
the blood. It's in the DNA.
Like and I will say this for anyone who's listening to this, everybody has abilities. You're born with them. Children are like wide open. They see
Mm,
things that adults don't see, but if you just like quiet your mind and the doubt that, generations of parents have like maybe put on you or placed on you or made you question yourself, you can unlearn and learn to like tap into those things again. So like I don't want anyone to think, because I hear all kinds of shit where people are like you have to, it has to be in your blood. I'm like, no, it doesn't. But
right.
but I will say though, there are people who, if it does run in your family, you just might be more predisposed to it, meaning like naturally open, but it
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you're better than somebody else. That's what I like to say. It's not like this. It's just a natural ability and a part of you. And, I just kind of like to say that because sometimes when I feel really strange when people call them like my powers, and I'm like, don't, please don't. I'm like, it's
Right.
no, because I think sometimes it can be misconstrued as like my powers, like I'm more powerful than, no, it's just part of you. That's how I like to
Yeah.
explain it.
Right, because I think maybe people might say things like that because if you even if like on TikTok or Instagram, wherever you're at, sometimes it's like there you do get a vibe with some of these readers or, psychics, whoever they are, but sometimes they do kind of come off a little like
Oh,
gatekeepy or
yeah,
like,
so like when people come off like gatekeepy like that, I say use your discernment. Those are probably not the people that you want to like go to.
mhm,
'Cause it shouldn't be this thing where it's like, "I'm better than you," or "I know more than you." Because listen,
right,
I know a lot of stuff, but I also don't know shit at the same time. So, like, I'm not here claiming to know every single thing in the entire planet. Because like, who does, right? But I think
exactly.
I do think sometimes people do act like that just to kind of
Yeah,
that's a lot of internal stuff and wanting to be
right.
seen and, like, it's
Projecting.
projecting, a whole
Uh-huh,
thing.
exactly. No, that's I like that speak on that because it's true. I think people, especially not knowing, I think the unknown is scary obviously for people and then you're right, use your discernment when you are seeking out these mediums and stuff because yeah, there's probably a lot of people that are projecting and putting their
Oh,
own
I've
shit
I've
out
had
there and
I've had I listen, like, so readers love getting readings. Like, I love other people reading for me,
ooh, yeah.
but like I have a few trusted people that I go to. But in the past, I did it. I didn't know. And
Mhm.
and I kind of felt I was like, not that like the mess is not like it's not like this is what I don't want to hear. It was just like, I'm like, this feels really projecty. It feels weird. It sits
Yes.
weird and it feels weird.
Mhm, mhm. I had a reading like that, from a tarot reader, and the way she was reading to me, she's like, "Oh, well, you understand this." I was like, "I do, but I wanna hear from you." And she's like, "You know what this means, and you know what this means." I was like, "I do, but I don't." So it just felt and then she was like talking about her relationship and my marriage and this and that and how they were similar. I was like, lady, I'm not
No,
like you.
no.
We're not the same.
No, no, no,
And I
no.
too can read bullshit. I was like, okay,
So,
like
like,
this feels
sometimes
weird.
there are no, that's a really good, like, discernment to have because, like, there's sometimes in readings where I'm, like, connecting to somebody and then, like, I'm being shown something similar that has happened to me. So it doesn't happen all the time, but I'll share a story
Hmm.
only when I'm being, like, nudged or like, "No, no, 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 explain this to her because they'll, like, understand it." So, I
Right.
explain the like, quick little, like, story, and it always makes sense, but it's because their guides are like, "Just tell them this, like, they'll understand it," but never is it like, "This is what's happening in my marriage," and, like, "This is what's happening to you." Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yes, yes. And when you hear, so you hear as a medium, if you could break
Mhm.
that down, like medium versus psychic,
Okay.
is it is that I mean, is that the same
Okay,
or
so it's not, but okay, I'm probably gonna if we listen, everybody, I don't know all the answers to everything. So I always say these are my experiences. I am
Mhm.
not speaking on behalf of anybody else because I know a lot of times people are like, how can that person say that? That's not okay. But like, this is just my truth. And like, so in my experience, I feel like, yes, psychic and medium are two different things, but they work in tandem together,
Okay.
right? Because like to be a medium is to be able to like cross the threshold or the veil or like whatever you want to call it and like talk to people who have passed. That's one part of it. But while you're talking to people who have passed, you're also using your, clairvoyance, your clear feeling, your clear seeing. Like when you
Mhm.
see somebody who's passed away, you're seeing them in like your mind's eye or physically or however you're seeing them, or you're
Mm.
hearing them. That's your clear audience. So I feel like they all kind of work together. Like I explain it like a bicycle. Think of like a bike without a bike chain. Where are you going to go? But when you have that
Mm.
chain, it's like, and you're riding your bike, it kind of like all works together. Although with psychic impressions or feelings or abilities, you might be stronger in some other areas and not stronger in other areas. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means it maybe just needs a little bit more practice.
Right, right. Wow. Yeah, and when you say dreams, I'm like when you say like dreaming and of people that pass, I always just I'm fascinated by that
Mhm.
because I had a dream. A friend of mine died back in November, and I've had 3 dreams about him since then, and they've all been great. And it's all like in his he looked great. It was like the same, we were at the same job place that we used to work at. Like it was very interesting. And each time I woke up, I was like, "Oh, that felt good." I'm like, "He must have visited me." Like that was
A hundred
totally
per
him.
100% he visited you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, dreams, sometimes I'll just have random ass dreams that don't make sense, and
Mm.
then sometimes there'll be psychic messages of stuff that's going to happen, but, like, it doesn't make sense in the dream, like, all of the moving
Mm.
parts, I'm like, "This does not make sense." So I just write them all down, and I always tell people to write them down because
Okay,
it'll make
okay.
sense. Yeah, so without saying names,
Yeah.
I had a dream where it's so weird. I'm always at a party a lot of the times. I don't know, it's
Oh,
very strange.
interesting.
It's
Huh.
weird. It's so weird. Or like someone's house and there's just like a lot of people. And so
Right.
I remember I'm like dialing out on the phone, but my phone line was crossing with like my cousins who used to live 3 doors down from me. It's so weird. And I pick up the phone and I just remember hearing one of my cousins and they're like, "D," and I was like, "Hey." And it had to do with it was them and 2 other people in their family that were
Mhm.
on this call. And I woke up and I was like, "This is really, really weird." So I messaged my cousin and I said, "I had this really weird dream," told them about what happened, the people it involved, and then they're like, "Okay, so don't tell anybody this." And obviously I'm not gonna divulge the rest of the information, but
Right.
then they kinda told me about what was going on with, like, all 3 of those people, and I was like and then I just sat there, I'm like, "Who?" I know who it is, though. I'm like, "Who keeps" and it's always this family. I dream about this family a lot, and it's
Really? Oh,
always
you just
when
gave me
stuff
chills?
Yeah, no, and I know it's both of their grandmothers because I knew both of their grandmothers growing up,
Mhm.
and I think it's just, like, family on the other side trying to, like, help with, like, family drama and stuff because they wanna help,
Wow.
but
Yes.
sometimes it's like I'm like, I can't involve myself, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah,
You have
so
to
sometimes it's like that.
wow.
Yeah.
And so how do you keep yourself grounded or how do you protect your peace and your energy
I don't
because
know.
you are so are you just like, let's see what throw the dice, see where it
No,
lands
I'm no
kind of and
no,
then
no, no. I'm just my husband says sometimes he'll hear me, like, kind of talk in my sleep where I'm just like, "No, not now." Like, "Just leave me al" says he's heard that a few times where I'm just like
oh my
and
gosh.
I remember it because I'm always, like, in this, like, in between sleep and in between awake kinda state when
Mhm.
that happens.
Mm.
Where I'm just like so that's my boundary sometimes I'm just like, "I can't." I'll be like, "I can't right now, I'm so tired." And that's it. And then sometimes if I'm having a deep sleep, I don't hear shit. And then
Wow.
yeah, but I used to get, like, touched physically, and I kind of said, "Hey, please don't do that," and the only people that are allowed to do that are, like, my grandmother or, like, specific people that are my family. If you're not
Right.
related to me or connected to me, then please do not touch me. Don't touch my husband, don't touch my dog, like, don't and they're pretty respectful.
Right.
Mhm.
So you lay out those boundaries for them. That's
Yeah, I just kind of I
wow.
don't it's not something I do all of the time. It's just once I said it, it was out there and they know and
Mhm. Okay.
that's kind of it. But yeah, that's kind of for grounding, I just, I walk a lot with my dog.
Mm.
Sometimes I stare into space for like 30 minutes and I don't know where I go and I'm just kind of like decompressing. I'll usually do if
Yeah.
you caught me on a good day because had you caught me after I just did a reading, my energy is kind of
Oh,
like all over the place.
oh, I can imagine.
It's
I
pretty
can
fun though.
imagine.
It's fun
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, maybe we do our part 2 and we get you after one.
You should, because
Let's do it.
it's interesting, and that's when, like, because and I get asked a lot, like, "When you go into public, are you, like, constantly bombarded by spirits and stuff?" No, because I shut it down. I just, like
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
just it's like turning it on and off,
Like
and
a
so
radio frequency or
that's
something.
a yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. There is an author, his name's Matt Warren, and he wrote this really great book called Psychic Witch, and he talked about
Ooh,
turning the dial up when
psychic
you wanna,
witch.
like yeah, you should check it out. When
Yeah,
you
I love
want to
write that down.
listen, like, when you want to, like, turn it on and when you wanna turn it down, just imagine, like, a dial in your mind, like a dial on a radio.
Huh,
Mhm.
wow. So wow. No, I'm trying to process all of this right
I
now.
know,
I geek out a little bit over this stuff. So you said, so you're married, you have a husband. How
mhm.
did you when you guys first met, was that was he like, okay?
So, like, it was so weird because I didn't really like I said, it's like I never really came out and said, "I think I'm psychic and a medium." It was just kind of like sometimes I have stuff that happens or things, and, like, he's had strange things happen to him before, so he's like, "Yeah, like,
Oh.
whatever, like, that's cool." I'm like, "Okay." But it's not like something I've ever, like, sat someone down and be like, "Okay, so I'm a psychic and a like, most of the time you won't know because I just don't say anything to anybody.
Mm,
It's very
mhm.
Scorpio rising of me. I don't tell anybody unless they
Right.
ask. Because it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's just part of me.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's just a part of it's just you, and that's interesting because why yeah, like, how do you how do you say, "I'm this," on top of being I don't know, I'm trying to, like, process that.
Yeah, it's just there.
So this is a part this is what you do. Do you have a day job?
So this is now my day job.
I love that. Good for
Thank
you.
you. It's been my
That's
day
yes.
job for like, God, how many years now? 1, 2, 3. I think next year will be my fourth year full time. But prior to that, I kind of sort of loosely started in 2019 is when I started my Instagram. And like,
Okay.
I still read tarot in my
Mhm.
psychic sessions, but like I do mediumship and ancestral readings, which I really love. I also like to it's something I'm going to be bringing back in the fall for like Halloween season is they're virtual house readings, so I basically tap into the energy of your house and like see
Ooh, I
who's
love
there.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna do
fun.
that.
I honestly I really love doing those ones cuz it's fucking crazy sometimes, the stuff that like, ugh, it's yeah. There's this one time I did one of those and it was like I will always remember this because they sent me photo as like proof, but I
Okay.
kept talking about like this little boy spirit playing with this little ball and they were renovating this like 100-year-old beautiful farmhouse. And it was like weeks and weeks after our reading and the person I read for like sent me a photo of this ball that they found in the wall. And it was the
No.
same color. Yeah, it was the ball that I talked about. And like her husband was like, "What the actual F? Like what?" Because I had mentioned it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do another session after you do those because that's awesome. I would love to do one and then maybe we can film it and
Oh my
I don't
god, that would.
know.
Oh my god, that'd be very cool.
I'm actually curious because I have a psychic or a medium tell me that my son was very sensitive, and this was a few years ago.
For sure.
Yeah, and I was just like, she just added. We were on a virtual. It was during like the pandemic time, and she's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, your son does he say things? Does he see things?" And it's funny because one time he asked about my best friend Ryan. He asked about where his dad was,
Oh,
and his dad is has passed
oh, I
away.
just got chills.
Really? I just got
Yeah.
chills.
I got chills like all over my arm. Yep, yep. Also, that's also a validation when you get like random chills and
Yes.
stuff that happens. It's like a
Oh
yes
my
for
gosh.
me.
Look at that. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even think I
know.
can see
Like my Italian arm hair is like up. I don't know if you can see it.
it. I was just like, so we were just playing and he was not even, maybe he was 4, 3 or 4. It was when he first started talking, but he's like, "Where's Uncle Ryan's dad?" And he just said Uncle Ryan's dad. And I was like, "Uncle Ryan's dad, baby." And we hadn't talked about Ray, nothing. Like
Yeah.
it was really interesting. And I let my bestie know, and he was just like, "Oh," like, and we were just tripping out. And then there was one time we were filming my son. We were just like recording him in his room, my husband too, and there was orbs around him,
Yeah.
orbs like all over. And I was like, but it didn't feel scary. And then I have a Queen Mary
No.
story too, but we could get into that. Because the Queen Mary is very haunted, and anyway, there's a lot of with that. But so she asked about that, and I was like, "It's funny you say that because he has mentioned stuff, and he's 8 now, so I don't know how, but he's very he's an empathetic, sweet soul. So I hope I try to nurture those like moments, you
No, of
know?
course. I think that sometimes like especially like when it's nurtured, like like my mom, I would say kind of nurtured it because I like, I remember telling her a few things and she just said to
Mm.
me, it was like one time, like I never really talked about it again, but she was like, yeah, she's like, sometimes she's like, your grandmother knows things and like I know things too. So you're like us. And then I said, oh, okay. And then that was just kind of it.
Oh, wow.
But my grandmother would not say that though.
Was your grandmother religious?
Well, so this one is, she's still alive. Not like super, like she believes, but not like super religious. I go to church all the time and kind of stuff, but like, old school Italian kind of
Okay.
old school
Yeah.
Italian, but like a little bit modern, but also like believes in it, but it also scares her. So yeah.
Okay. I can see that. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
I
Like she knows stuff, but then but then I think there's that like fear behind it too, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Exactly. The fear of the unknown because you don't know what you're tapping into. And I get that because it's come years. I've always believed in stuff. I've always felt things. I'm very like empathetic and I just feel really
Yeah.
deeply. And so to the point where now I'm on Lexapro because I need to turn things off. I
Well,
know
I
it's
mean, you're
terrible.
a Scorpio, and Scorpios are water signs are like, I feel like water signs are very, very like intuitive and psychic by just like default.
Yes. It's a
Yeah,
part of
my
the
husband's
model.
my husband's a triple cancer. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, he's very into it. Like he's in tune and stuff. He's just
That's
like,
great.
yeah, so water signs.
Yes, yes. So, I always believed and I always knew something. I always felt a little different, like from
Hmm.
everyone else. And then it's just as I've gotten older is when I pushed away the fear. I'm like, you know what? Like, I didn't grow up really religious. myself. And so, but I, believe, and I just have
Yeah,
faith and believe in angels. I believe, things like that. And so I think I started opening up more to tarot and doing my
for
own, I do
sure.
my own reading. I haven't graduated to reading for others, but I do it's more like, it's like therapy, really.
Yeah, for I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist, but like, sometimes a session can feel like a therapy session.
Absolutely. I would sometimes much rather see a medium or psychic or a tarot reader than a therapist at this point, because that's where we're at now.
Yeah, I love that.
I know we only have about 10 minutes left, so I don't want to. I listen, you guys, Diana's busy. She's booked and busy. So I totally understand it, but this
So
is just a
funny.
part one.
I
This
would
was a
l
part one.
I would love to do a part 2. I would love to do a part 2
Yes,
because
actually, let's do that.
okay,
Like for real.
I'll text
So
you
we
later
can,
today though, and we'll, like,
yeah.
try and figure something out.
Yes. So let's put a pin in this session for now, guys, and then we are going to pick up where we left off.
Ooh,
This is
but before we
Oh,
go, okay,
okay.
so you know what's really cool about doing a part 2? Okay, so I'm going
Yes.
in not next week, but the week after on my very first overnight paranormal investigation in Indiana. I'm not gonna say the place yet, but I'll share that, like, after,
I mean,
and
Indiana, it already sounds like,
do you remember show Erie, Indiana?
yeah.
Oh my god, I loved that show. Anyways,
Yeah, I do. I didn't watch it, but I remember yeah.
I'm going to Indiana. And
Okay.
I'm staying at the place for a night, and I'm going with my friend who is a paranormal investigator,
Okay.
and kind of said to her, I don't really want to know much about the house because I kind of want to go into it blindly. I know a
Yes.
little, like it was built in whatever, but I don't know anything about it. But
Okay.
I've had a couple of dreams so far. Yeah, so
I got chills. I got chills.
I tapped into the house
Okay.
because one of my other friends, who she's wonderful, she goes by the name Sterling Moon Tarot. She's a
Okay.
fantastic, like, reader and witch, and I actually asked her, I said, "Hey, also, y'all should follow her. Also, she has amazing
Definitely.
books."
Ooh, okay. We'll
Yeah,
drop her
she's
name
great.
in the link and
She's like a
when we
witchy
post this.
Dolly Parton. That's how I would describe her. Yeah.
I already love her. Say no more.
So I had asked her, I said, "Hey, I'm doing this thing, and like, protection wise, like, what do you suggest?" and kind of thing. And so she suggested, she's like, like, she goes, "I like to tap into the house before and let them know that I'm coming, because like this is a thing also with like spirits. Like when you see a lot when I see like Ghost Adventures and stuff, and like
Yeah.
Zach Baggins is like yelling and all kinds of things, I'm just
Why
like
are you yelling?
why are you screaming? Like, are you Italian?" But but I wanna be respectful too, because,
Right.
like, there are spirits there, and, like, I am coming into your space, and I want you to know that, like, I'm not here to disrupt anything. I'm just, like, I'm just here, and,
Yeah.
I kinda did that, and then I had, like, 2 dreams already about a specific bedroom and, like, specific people and, like, a
Okay.
kitchen, something in the kitchen. It was weird, and I told this friend who does know about the house and does know more stuff,
Mhm.
and she was just like, she goes, "Okay, I can't tell you, but I'm just gonna say you're onto something." So, like,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
So this would be okay. You heard it here, guys. We are going to pick up where we left off, and
Yeah.
this is the end of part one with Diana Steele.
Thank you for
And
having
thank you
me.
guys. Of course, thank you so much for being here. And I'm like, this is not an end, so this is why I'm like, we're fine. You can go do your reading now. Because normally my Scorpio self would be like, no, you're mine for the
No.
next,
I
how
love
dare
that
you leave
though.
me? All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And make sure to stay tuned for the installment
Part 2?
with Diane, part two. We'll pick up where we left off.
Oh my god, I would love to
Thank
tell you about it.
and yes, yes. And also, if you can, let everybody know where they can follow you and book
Sure.
your services.
You can find me at waningmoonreadings.com. That's my website. I'm currently booking for September. You can be put on a wait list though if you book a session. I do offer BIPOC discounts on all my services as well. And you can find me at the Waning Moon Witch on Instagram. I'm like chronically online, and I
Yeah,
have
for
a
content's
YouTube.
great.
Thank you. I have a YouTube that I'm going to start using more. I think it's also the Waning Moon Witch. Like I've tried to keep like all the names the same, and a TikTok that I don't use as much. So I would suggest.
I hear you. TikTok's a whole other beast. I mean, we could get into that. Yeah,
I just get very overstimulated. I don't know if it's my ADHD, and I'm just like, I can't be here. And
yeah, and I'm older, so I'm kind of like, oh, am I an old lady? I don't know how to fucking run this.
No.
What is this button? No. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to part 1, and we will get back to you on a date for part 2. Thanks, everybody.